Bitcoin. You've seen that word pop up just about everywhere, right? News headlines, tech blogs, maybe even from a friend. But what is it, really? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this whole thing. We'll break down exactly how it works, and, maybe more importantly, why it could totally change the world of finance as we know it.
All right, so let's start with the biggest question of all. What is Bitcoin? I mean, we hear the term thrown around constantly, but what are we actually talking about when we get past all the hype and the buzz?
Okay, so at its very core, Bitcoin is kind of two things at once. For starters, it's this really innovative payment network. Think of it as a brand new way to send value anywhere on the globe. And then, it's also a new kind of money, a completely digital currency that, and this is the key part, isn't controlled by any single bank or government.
So to really wrap our heads around this, let's zoom in on that money part first. For a second, just forget everything you know about paper bills and metal coins. What we're talking about here is a currency that was designed from the ground up, specifically for the internet.
And you know, the core idea is actually super simple. Think about it like this. Sending Bitcoin to someone is basically as easy as sending an email. Seriously. There's no middleman, no bank getting in the way, you're just sending digital value straight from your device to theirs. It doesn't matter if they're across the street or on the other side of the planet.
And that right there, that direct person-to-person transfer is what makes Bitcoin such a game changer. It works on this powerful idea of no banks, no borders. And the way it pulls this off is through something called a peer-to-peer network.
So, what is a peer-to-peer network? While instead of a traditional system where everything has to go through a central hub like a bank, Bitcoin's network is completely decentralized. That means all the transactions are managed and double-checked by the users on the network themselves. It's a collective effort.
Putting these side by side really makes the difference pop, doesn't it? With traditional payments, your money has to go through a bank or some other central authority. That adds steps, it adds complexity, and yeah, it usually adds higher fees. Bitcoin just cuts that whole middleman out. It's straight from you to them, no central authority needed. And that's a big reason why the processing fees can be so much lower.
And really, that's the absolute key takeaway here. Nobody, and I mean nobody, owns or controls Bitcoin. Its design is totally public. It's open source, which just means anyone, anywhere in the world can jump in and take part. You could almost say it's a financial network built for the people, by the people.
Okay, but wait a minute. If there's no bank, then who's checking all these transactions to make sure they're legit? And for that matter, where do new Bitcoins even come from? Well, that brings us to the engine that keeps this whole thing running. A really fascinating process called mining.
Miners are pretty much the backbone of the entire Bitcoin network. And no, we're not talking about people with pickaxes and hard hats. These are individuals and even whole companies running incredibly powerful specialized computers. What they're doing is competing to solve these really complex math problems, and by doing that, they're also verifying transactions and keeping the whole system secure.
So here's a quick rundown of how that mining process actually works. First, all these miners are using their computer power, all trying to be the first to solve a really tricky math problem. The winner, the first one to crack it, gets the right to verify the latest batch or block of transactions. Once that's all checked out and verified, that block gets added to the public record, which we call the blockchain. And for doing all that hard work, the winning miner gets a reward of brand new Bitcoin. That's it. That's how the system stays secure and how new coins are created.
You know, it's pretty wild to see how this has evolved. Way back in the early days, you could actually mine Bitcoin on a regular home computer just using its main processor. But as the network got bigger, people figured out that the graphics cards in gaming PCs, the GPUs, were way better at it. Fast forward to today, and the network is secured by these insane hyper-specialized chips called ASICs. They're designed to do one single thing, mine Bitcoin as efficiently as possible. This whole evolution just goes to show how powerful and secure the network has become over time.
Okay, so we've dug into a lot of the technical stuff, what Bitcoin is and how it all works under the hood. But let's get to the real question, the one you're probably asking. Why should I even care? What are the actual practical advantages of using this over the money I've already got in my wallet or my bank account?
Well, the key advantages really come down to a few big ideas. First up, you've got speed and lower costs. We're talking fast, person-to-person transactions that can go anywhere in the world. Then there's the whole idea of control. Since you are the one holding your own funds, nobody can just freeze your account, and there aren't any weird, arbitrary limits. And hey, for businesses, this is huge. Bitcoin transactions can't be reversed, which gets rid of the headache of fraudulent chargebacks.
But the vision for Bitcoin, the big idea, it goes way beyond just being a new way to send money.
At its very heart, it's also this incredibly powerful, open platform for all sorts of financial innovation.
Because the software is what we call open source, it means anyone, literally anyone in the world can look at the code, they can build on top of it, and they can create brand new services and technologies that, honestly, we probably haven't even thought of yet. That level of transparency and openness is absolutely one of its core features.
And this analogy really helps put the potential of this thing into perspective. Think about it. Before the web, publishing was basically controlled by a handful of big companies, right? The web came along and just blew the doors wide open, letting anyone share information with the world. Well, the big idea here is that Bitcoin could do the exact same thing, but for finance.
And so that really leaves us with this final, powerful question to chew on. What actually happens when everyone, no matter who you are or where you live, can access a single global market? What happens when financial tools aren't controlled by gatekeepers anymore, but are open to anyone with an internet connection? That's the future that Bitcoin is pointing towards, and it's definitely something worth thinking about.